What's up, studs? My friends, guys. Welcome to 2017. How fucking great is it, right? Every year you get older, you have a little bit more knowledge and a little bit more power to get done what you need to get done. So, I don't do this often. This is a personal thing, but I'm going to go into my journal and I'm going to show you how I plan out my years. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm going to review with you my 2016 and then show you how to plan out your 2017, but how I did it, what my goals are, and what my failures and successes were in 2016. And hopefully that'll help you get a foundation to, frankly, what you're doing, right? A lot of people are not heavy on goals, you know. A lot of people say, like, fuck goals, win every day. Well, that is true. You should win every day if you can. But having a roadmap for what you're trying to do and where you're trying to go will give you some checks and balances into your whole life. And so I like doing a very, very simple business plan for the year. So whenever I do it, I go somewhere amazing. I went to Hawaii last year. I spent a month by myself. This year I've been in Costa Rica. I'm a little older, a little wiser. I need to spend a month by myself, but I need to spend a couple weeks by myself just thinking about where I've been or where I'm about to go. And I know it's a little windy, guys, and bear with me. I know the YouTube audio files really are into the mics and stuff, but you know, in Costa Rica, it's called Pura Vida. We just do what we do until we can't do. And let's talk about my 2016. You know, I had a lot of different goals, and frankly, some of them I met and some of them I didn't. So, I had a couple things here. Let me grab a little my wines here. So, I had a few things I did right. So, I want to take multiple vacations with my family. For those of you guys that know me, my family's very important. I'm like obsessed with my mom and dad and my sisters. I got 3 sisters, and like I do everything with them. Like I call them every day, every single one. I talk to them all day on text message. You know, like these are my peoples, right? You know, a lot of people, for them, family is a holiday thing. I ignore mine on the holidays because we're around each other way too much. And so I want to take multiple vacations, and so I use this thing called Sunrise Manifesto, and it's just a journal. It's a guided journal, though, but it's really good for planning, like what you're doing. So I want to take multiple vacations with my family. Okay, so I went to Hawaii by myself, but then I met my family in Sri Lanka, which was pretty cool. Not as epic as you would think, but then in hindsight, I'm also thinking, like, why the fuck would I think Sri Lanka is going to be epic? I don't know. I haven't seen TV. It was just kind of one of them things. There was a wedding there, and we went there, and it was okay. It was pretty good, but not my ideal. But then things got interesting. After Sri Lanka, I went home for a little while, and I met my sisters in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, which is beautiful. Big mountains. It was green, ocean, just like stuff I like. It looked like California, but a little bit cooler. We had a lot of fun there. We did ATVs and all that fun stuff, and so that was pretty cool. And then we went to Colombia right after that. We went straight after that for my buddy Big Rob, his wedding. And we spent a few weeks in Colombia. That was awesome. Then later on in the year, like about 2 months later, my sisters came to see me in Destin, and they stayed with me for like a week or two, and we had a great time. Then my parents came for a month, so that was pretty cool. So we did take multiple trips, and it was interesting and fun. And then we all went to Texas one weekend to see my sisters, and we all stayed there for like 5 or 6 days. And we actually had a couple other trips in there. One of my sisters came to see me in Charleston. I was visiting in Charleston. She came to see me, and we had a great time in Charleston. And I spent from November 1st to basically January 1st, give or take a few days up until I got here, with my parents in Michigan. So I saw everybody, my family, my cousins. I spent a lot of time in there. So I checked off that one goal. Okay? I had another goal for a solo workcation. So I don't call these things vacations because it's just my life, right? I'm working, I'm doing stuff, I'm making videos, I'm trading, I'm teaching class, I'm entrepreneuring, I'm doing my mentorship classes, I'm working with people one-on-one. I'm working. So I took one solo workcation. So I went to Hawaii. For those guys that haven't been to Hawaii, it's maybe the most beautiful place on earth. It's the cleanest, most beautiful. It looks like it's a TV. I went to Maui, and it looked like an episode from Lost. It was nuts. Everything is so big and grand and waterfalls. I was really happy I went there. That was my first time going there. And frankly, I came away impressed. It's a little bit different than Latin America, where it's a little bit more rustic. Things are cheaper. You know, it's like you're visiting an old world, versus Hawaii is obviously very technological. It's the United States. So different kinds of vacations, but I enjoyed that. One of my other goals in 2016, I did not accomplish this, was raise my passive income 50%. So I'm a big believer in passive income. You know, I know a lot of you guys, especially on YouTube, everybody's like, oh, well, if he's so good at trading, why would he do anything else? Those people are stupid. Business people own tens of streams of income. Tim Ferriss, Tony Robbins, right? They don't just say, oh, I'm a trader, I'm a motivator, and they spend their whole life just making money off that. So I can make hundreds of thousands of dollars trading, but I can make millions of dollars probably doing other things. Building my business, buying investments, real estate. I have some Quiznos. So I had this goal of raising my passive income 50%. So my monthly nut is, frankly, I think a little bit too high. And that's one of the things I wanted to focus on for this year was, you know, like I have a $2,200 mortgage for, I have a 4-bedroom townhouse. But I spent about $2,000 a month for my maid and chef. So is it like balanced? I don't know. Like some people would rather have a really nicer house, but for me, I would rather have everything just done for me. I don't like cooking, I don't like cleaning, and I want them to come every day. I don't want people to show up once a week and do stuff for me. But I always worry, like, am I overspending? Should I just buy a bigger house? That's what most people would do. But then I'm not most people, so I think probably I'm doing it right, because having that stuff off my back, even though it's expensive and just as much as my mortgage, allows me to work all the time. It allows me to be really productive, but also stress-free. So what I want to do is raise my passive income. The money that I actually make, that has nothing to do with trading or Bulls on Wall Street. So the passive income was really important to me because it's just a freedom. It's the freedom of your life. You know, I have an X amount of monthly nut I need to take care of. I have responsible for my parents, numerous employees, of course, my personal friends, you know, family stuff, and then my own bills and blah, blah, blah. So, you know, I'd like an income of like, say, $20,000 passively, and I've been moving it up, but I wanted to increase it by 50%, and I failed miserably. I got it up to about 28%. I had some investments in real estate that panned out, but I had some other investments like in one of my buddy's companies in New York that was going to pay me a dividend, and it looked like an amazing idea, but frankly my buddy he didn't have the goods, and that happens. You make assessments to what could happen and, you know, your returns, and look, sometimes they don't pan out, and I've had more investments not pan out than pan out. It's a matter of reward to risk. Low risk, big reward is what I'm always looking for. So I didn't raise my passive income, but I did make a dent on it with some good investments. So that was pretty good. I think this is one of the most important things I did. I wanted to restart the growth in our company. So 2015 was a flat year for us. That was the first time it ever happened. We had like this big growth. when we started like $80,000 in revenue in the first year. And then we went to like 300,000, which was pretty good. And then we went to like 1.5 million, which was awesome. And then we went to 3, and then we just flatlined. And to me, I'm a grower, not a shower. No, I'm just kidding. I like to grow. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm getting something done. So when we flatlined, kind of at that number, it made me think of a lot of things. Like, am I doing a good job as a CEO? Am I promoting my vision? Am I staying on top of the game? Am I constantly changing with the times? And one of the things I found out was that, I'd kept a lot of the same products or the same marketing or a lot of the stuff the same. So like you see right now, right? I do a lot more YouTube videos. Well, that was part of a broader strategy of saying, I need to be out there not just talking about stocks, but talking about what I actually do, which is I build businesses. Trading is, I'm like P. Diddy or Jay-Z, right? Rap was a way for them to get in the business game. Trading is something that I do, and I'm really good at it. I'm probably in the top 10%, top 5%, but I'm good at a lot of stuff. And that's what makes me a triple threat. And I need to work on all those things. And so our business flatlined for a year, and so I regurgitated everything. I didn't want to just sit there and say, hey, I'm making good money, and just sit on it. Like, I wanted to make change because I owed it to my employees. I owed it to my students to always have a better class, a better business, to coach people better. And so I wanted to really improve on myself. So in 2015, I spent a lot of time figuring out what I did right, what I did wrong. And what I found out was that I stopped growing a little bit as a person too. I need to do more to grow myself. And so, I started working with Ben Newman. He's my coach. He's the guy that got me these journals and made me do these business plans. And he taught me a lot about my emotions, keeping me in check, but personally, being ready to kill it every single day. He gave me routines and processes that said, the minute you wake up, you are ready to go out and fucking slay it. And that really helped me a lot to just go out and attack it. It helped my trading. I took Tony Robbins classes. I love when people say, well, why would I spend money on a class? Well, I spent about $3,000 on these Tony Robbins classes. I spent $5,000 on this John Maxwell leadership certification. Some of it I used, some of it I didn't. And but I spent the money and I spent time reading it and doing it. I learned a lot about marketing. I read one book every week, maybe 2 weeks, depending how big it is. So relearning got the growth back, I think. It brought the fire in me. It brought new ideas. And 2016 was hot. The first half of the year was slow. It's flat again. It's 2015. But I kept pushing, and I didn't panic. One of the things I know about business is that this is how business works. You can be learning and doing stuff and doing stuff and doing stuff, and you are making progress. But you are not seeing results yet. You're just kind of pushing that ball down the road. And then what happens is, out of nowhere sometimes, it just starts to roll. And it snowballs. And that's what happened in our 2016. The first six months were really slow. Meaning they were the same as the year before, which is still profitable. It's still a lot of money for me and my family and my employees. Everybody's making good wage. Everybody at our company makes 6 figures. I have 10 employees. But I was frustrated. I wanted more. So I just kept pushing it. My coach, Ben, always tells me, pound the rock. Pound the rock. Pound the rock. Do not let your eye off the process. Think about the process all the time. Don't focus on the results. Focus on the process, the process, the process, the process. And I just kept ingraining. He would text me sometimes. Ben is the man, but he would text me sometimes at 3 in the morning. And he would say, don't forget the process. Remember the steps of what you're trying to do. The results will show much later. And I just kept doing that. And I'm a short-sighted, instant gratification person. I don't know if some of you guys are, but I don't know. I just am. Maybe because I'm a trader, and as a trader, you make a trade and 10 minutes later you have money. So I'm super into instant gratification, I think. But it doesn't work that way in business or coaching or mentorship. I was lagging. So Ben kept just hammering me the process, and it stuck with me a little bit. I'm not a good listener, but it did stick with me, and so I restarted the growth. Boy, I restarted it. That last 6 months, Mary Beth, who's my business partner, she was my first student I ever had. Great trader. My business partner runs a day-to-day business. She just came out like gangbusters and started really taking over a lot of the bits and pieces of the company, and they got me excited because she's my protege and my business partner, and I felt a certain paternal instinct of like, fuck, somebody came through for me and I didn't have to do all the work myself. I developed somebody that was able to, I duplicated myself, which is huge in trading and business, right? Leverage. How do you leverage yourself, the time, all that fun stuff? So then I had another goal in 2016, which was bring in fresh blood into the company. So for those guys that didn't know my story, I work with my best friends. I've known these guys since grade 8. We're less like niños, right? Just kids. We always had a dream, like we're all gonna work together, live together, have fun, go out and do this and that, and all the stuff that young men think about, and we did it all. But things get stale after a while, right? So I have like 4 of my students that work for me, and then I have my 4 best friends, and we had the same group for a long time, and so I wanted to bring in some fresh blood. That was part of restarting my growth. Have a different perspective on things, and so I hired a guy named Eric. You probably see him on a lot of our YouTube videos. He's the guy who he's got the comb over, and super cool dude. He's got the wispy mustache, and I don't know if he revitalized a lot of the growth, but he helped revitalize me because working with him reminded me a lot of when Paul worked with me, or Rahul Sood, who's one of my mentors, worked with me. Like you have this kind of amazing person with a great attitude, and you don't know what their peak is, but it's really high, and so you want to just keep working with them. And I felt like I was seeing that because he's 25 years old. He was also one of my students, but he didn't even want to be my students. We met. He was doing a podcast. He interviewed me, and I basically sold him a boot camp, and then we kind of he sold himself to me basically, and so I said, well, let's give it a shot. And I think that helped a lot, at least for me personally, because I see a lot of myself in him. We're very different. He's quieter and he's smarter and a little bit more analytical, but the hunger to do good work is the same, and I thought that was really, really good. I had this goal of capturing the business for live everything. Periscope, Facebook Live. There's all this live that came out, and I didn't do a good job. When I did the live, I killed it. I fucking killed it. I was on Periscope, I'd have 800 people there. I did some of this other stuff, people were there, but when you're so busy and if you have a good day trading, bad day trading, I was having trouble stomaching I gotta get up and get live and teach these people something, and I don't know, I think that was a little bit selfish of me, but also just lazy. It was a lazy thing, because it only takes 15, 20 minutes, but you have this audience that you didn't have before. I should have done it. And so it's an epic fail by me for just laziness, basically. So that was, I think, a little bit disappointing, because if I had done that, I'm telling you right now, if I was on that Periscope, YouTube Live, all that fun stuff every day, Instagram Live they have now, my business would probably be double what it is. I needed to do it because the thing is, in business, if you're in first and you have your own category, meaning you invented something, you have your own category, you're the first in that's doing it, the sky's the limit. And I had the opportunity to do that for stocks, and I just didn't do it. And so that was really a little bit disappointing, but what can you do? But the positives of the year, I thought, was I learned the concept of reframing, which is I learned from Ben. So reframing is taking something, whatever you feel, whatever you're seeing, and taking a look at it in a different angle to bring out the positive in it. And so that, I think, changed my outlook a lot, especially working with Ben. I spent so much money in coaches and stuff. I used to spend $5,000 on this one business coach. He's fucking dick. I spent a lot of money in different business coaches, and some of them just don't work out. That's how coaching goes. Learning from Ben, one of the most powerful things I got from him was the concept of reframing. So reframing is taking something that is like bad or just any instance and turning it around to take the good parts out of it and reframing it into something positive. So like for me, one of the things is like, for those of you guys who know me, right? I'm an energetic person. Dude, I live for spite. My whole life has been about shaming the people I grew up with that didn't believe in me and posting awesome pictures on Facebook to let them know that I am the man, right? That's been like so much of my life. And it's been fun. Like, I love doing it. But now everybody knows I am the man, right? I mean, but it's also not a healthy thing. Like, you can't just do everything for spite. It took me a little bit of time. Like, I had to get into my 30s to maybe just understand it. But one of the things that Ben told me was, how to reframe things. And, rather than gaining energy from negative feelings or trying to prove people wrong, I should gain my energy from positive things. So, like how I'd reframe instead of proving people wrong, I would say, I'd wake up in the morning and say, man, I'm going to prove people right. I'm going to prove the people right that believed in me. My mom, my dad, my employees, my students, thousands of students who believe in me. I'm going to prove them right. I'm going to work my ass off and be amazing. And I'm going to prove them right. Versus prove what? Like 3 people wrong that probably don't even remember me from, 1994? Like, if you really think about it, it makes so much sense. Like, why are we spending time proving people wrong when there's so many that deserve us proving them right? So, and that was just one instance of reframing, but I've done a lot of it in a lot of different things, so I thought that was awesome. So let's talk about my 2017 goals, because 2016 was a success, but it wasn't where I wanted, and also I didn't have the skills of planning that I do now. Working with Ben Newman, he's had me do like just a lot of awesome things, and so I have some awesome goals here. I spent a lot of time on, and it's pretty cool. So how Ben has me do it is you make 4 sheets. One is your personal goals. One is your business goals. One is your personal net worth statement. So like, debts, credits, all that fun stuff. And then the other one is revenue projections for your business. So, I put it on 4 sheets of paper, and I had really, like, I think I've got a fairly decent plan. I just got to make sure that I do it. So a couple of things I had here was spend more time with my successful students. So I have a bunch of students that are on the cusp of being millionaire status, or like literally right there. Skip, Rick, Jack. His name is Rick Underbrink. He's on Twitter. I think his name is Skip Jack Rick or Skip Rick Jack. He made $600,000 the other year. A smart guy, family man. He's about the same age as me. I'd like to spend more time with somebody like that. Like, he's smart. I could learn something from him, but I think that I could also be the guy. I could take him over the hump. Like, he took our boot camp 3 years ago, right? So obviously I'm not spending as much time with somebody that just took the class 3 years ago versus somebody that does now, but I should be looping back around. Like, we're friends and we talk all the time, but we text message about football and stuff, and I want to get my hands dirty maybe and help get these people to the next level. Chris Zielinski is another student of mine that hasn't hit his full potential yet, but is almost there. A successful student, owns a company just like mine, smart dude, way smarter than I am, but I need to spend some time with him. Like, I can do things other than just trading teaching, right? I can give them the mentality, the hope, the mindset to get them where they need to go, beyond just class. Jake Novakovic, there's a young man named All Day in my chat room who's actually really talented, just needs a lot of polish. He's from Jersey, so for those of you guys that know, like anybody from Jersey, oh man, like, you know, they're rough around the edges, man. Yeah, I gotta smooth this guy out. If he does, he's gonna be a Superman. We talked about the passive income. You know, I want to raise it again by 50%. I think that's big for me. I like making money, like I just do. I want to have 10 businesses. You know, everybody says, well, if you trade, why do you teach? I'm going to have 10 businesses that all give me as much money as trading. That's what I'm going to do because that's who I am. I'm a builder. I want to have more speaking events. I had a couple speaking events last year at the end of the year, and boy, I had fun. I felt connected with people that I don't get sometimes on the computer. I felt connected, like I was doing that, and I was shaking the hands and kissing the babies, but I felt the people because I was able to see them and answer their questions after. You know, they were in the audience and they were coming to talk to me after. I was having beers with them after. I just felt that connection that, you know, trading can be lonely sometimes. For me, it's awesome to have my chat room and, of course, my students, but that physical just interaction of seeing people nod and understand what you say, and then shaking their hand and hearing their story of who they are, where they want to be, and why they're doing this, it motivates me, it excites me. I need more of that, and I want to do more. So I have a goal of 3 more speaking events. I have a goal of walking more. So I get my best ideas when I walk. A lot of times throughout the last year, I have a personal trainer. I go to the gym, I just kick ass for an hour, then I sit around the rest of the day. I kick ass for an hour, but then you don't move. And you're just eating, right? You're eating, oh, you gotta have my protein, so I gotta have my protein powder. I don't want to be a beast and you know, I'm fucking big enough. Like, I don't want to be a beast. I just want to be lean and healthy. Like, I don't care about muscles, I don't think I do. Like, I just want to be lean, and walking always keeps me lean. But it just makes me happy. It gives me a little free time to think about myself. And so I've been doing this while I'm in Costa Rica. Every day I set up a walking date. Like, you know how you meet a friend for coffee or beer, but you just go with a friend and you take a walk. You take a long walk and you talk. And if I can't find anybody to walk with, then I just FaceTime somebody. And guess what happens? If you're FaceTiming one of your buddies, like an old friend, I try to do an old friend that I don't hear from that much. An old friend that you lost away with. An old friend that you don't have enough time with. So I call an old friend, whoever it may be. And it's amazing. First of all, they're so happy to hear from you. And they want to talk to you for a long time, but you can walk miles before you don't even notice. And you get that connection. I'm sorry, I'm just banging my thing so this thing is shaking, but you get that connection with people, and I think that's just huge. It makes your life better. I think it does. Fuck, I mean, it does. Like, I've been doing it now 7 days. And I've had contact with 3 people that I normally don't contact with, but that are friends of mine. And it's like, it's helped my mood a lot. So I've got a couple other things here. You know, one of them is really redoing some of my programs to bring out that human interaction. We have a huge interaction right now in our bootcamp class, but I have to bring it out of people because I'm the one that's teaching, and then I'm asking people questions. I'm always contacting people and emailing people. But to find an apparatus where people are interacting with me and they're able to get what they need and the structure they need, where it's not necessarily me always just getting it out of people, but there's this community type of atmosphere or whatever it might be, platform where they're also hitting up other people and they're connecting. We have a community right now where people can connect, and I do see maybe like 100 reactions with people about a day, but I want to see thousands. Like, I want to see these people talking all day, because these are students, and students in trading are like brothers, and so I think that's huge. A couple other things, just the last 2 things. Traveling alone sometimes, I think, I've been a lonely man, or not a lonely man, but a lonely travel for a long time. I go with my buddies. I've had an awesome life. I met really dozens upon dozens of amazing women. But you know, maybe finding myself a girlfriend or somebody to share some of these things with. I mean, look at where we are. Like, you know, I should be teaching somebody how to surf, right? Or, you know, teaching somebody about this culture that I'm so lucky to experience. So, you know, being open to maybe finding myself a girlfriend or something like that. I've met so many amazing women in my day, and I think sometimes I'm just oblivious to it, or I'm just so focused on my goals, or maybe I'm just a huge scumbag. I don't even know. Like, you know, I would never expect to be like 35 and like just cruising around on vacation by myself. It's kind of fun. It's kind of cool. I wish I was 30. But I should, you know, I should be open to this, and I want to be open to this. And, you know, it's just a mentality sometimes that you are open to it. And if you are, then it will come to you. And I don't think I've always been that way. I've been really into myself in terms of my work, my students, my traveling, my parents. You know, I have a lot of responsibilities. You know, I have 12 employees and all this, but it's a terrible excuse. Like, people that have 100,000 employees have way more responsibility than me and way more pressure than me, and, you know, people do stuff. And so I think I'm just using sometimes my job as a crutch to maybe not put myself out there. And so that's what I'm going to work on a lot, is just putting myself out there a lot. And then, you know, the last thing is really developing my employees, who I think right now we're like in this awesome spot, but I'm leading the direction a lot, and I have two people that really are starting to come into play, Mary Beth and Jordan, that lead the direction, and Eric too. But really working with my employees to duplicate myself, I think, is going to be huge. That's something that I really want to be cognizant of, is, you know, how do I duplicate myself, but how do I build my employees? See, people don't want to be managed, but they want to be led, and they want to be coached by their leader. And that's what my job is, right? To be a leader. It's not to be a manager. And I think that's something I can really work on. And then, you know, really the last one is just, you know, my health. Making sure I walk. Stay away from like heavy drinking too many days a week. You know, obviously when you're traveling a lot, it's really easy to just go and like just get drunk all the time. Having a few glasses of wine or something, sure, it's not going to really kill your performance too much. But, dude, it's so easy when you're just like out and about with your friends to just like go ballistic, right? I'm a ballistic kind of guy. Like, I like having fun. But is that really fun? I don't know. Like, I can see that sometimes it slows down my performance a little bit. But I think as I get older, it's definitely going to come into play. And so, you know, I want to be cognizant of this. Like, am I able to give my all the time? Because I have noticed over the years that, like, it's taking me a little bit more to get ready for the day. You know, I have to take athletic greens. I have to drink more water. I have to do more exercise. I have to do a little bit more. I have to be more mindful. I have to do meditations. I have to do a lot of stuff that, frankly, I just never used to have to do. So it's taking me a lot more work to basically have the same, right? The amazing part about being youth, for those of you guys who are in your 20s, is that you may not know anything, but you can gloss over a lot of details by just being energetic and working your ass off. That's the amazing part of you. When you're older, you have to be perfect at everything to get ahead. When you're younger, you can gloss over so many deficiencies by just that intense will to just go out and attack it, to be awesome and make your mark on the world. That's why young people invent Facebook and Google and all this fucking shit, right? Because they have that insane ability to just push and take risks, and I love that. And I think I still have that, but I can feel it turning a little bit. So something to just keep in mind of, guys. These are just my own goals, and I have way more and a little bit more, but dude, this is your year to attack it. I'm just telling you, you know, I've been to the low spots. You know, I've been stuck in a cubicle. I've lost trading accounts. I've been to places where you don't want to be. I've caused trouble in my life. I've been arrested. I've done all sorts of stupid shit. But one thing was I always made a concerted effort to improve and understand that this is my fucking time. Like, I don't say next week. I don't say tomorrow. Like, today I'm going to make this fucking video, then I'm going to go do this. But I always have been about the now. Like, this is now. I want to learn. If somebody says learn this, I'm going to learn it now. If somebody says read this, I'm going to read it now. But don't wait till tomorrow, because now is your now. We have an immense opportunity right now with the internet and the way business is structured to go and achieve your dreams with just simple tools. See a fucking phone like this? This has more power than the first fucking Apollo space mission. You literally have more power in your hands than the old school spacecrafts that went to the moon. So what is our excuse? What can you not do on this that you could do any other time in history with the monstrous resources? We right now are mobile and powerful, and we have access to tools, free tools and free education like you're getting now that people never had before. They used to have to pay for. So I love you guys. Feel free to leave me any message, whatever. I love it. You want to send me some death threats or, whatever. I love it all. I love hearing from people, and I look forward to it. Guys, Happy New Year. Let's make this one amazing. Peace, guys. Thanks for watching. If you like that video, subscribe right here. If you want to watch more videos, click right there.